St. Francis of Assisi has become a legend among us. But he did something like this about 1,000 years ago. Who remembers where he originated? Was he French? Gaelic? He was in the British Isles. I should have done it. Yes, thank you. Probably Italy. Yeah, he was sometime. Yeah, Francis of Assisi. Duh. Got it. Okay. Way to go, scholar. So we've been doing this in our congregations a lot of places. I have never done it, I don't think. And we came up with the collaboration of Richard and I, and we looked at one another and said, why not? So what we've done is multiple. We've really used the hybrid concept today. How many people, Richard, sent you?
We've got 8 slides.
8 slides.
More than one animal object.
Okay, we have 8 slides. My friend Karen from Britain, she sent her picture of her dog,
Surprised the hell out of me.
Cupca. Well, we were talking, and I said, send a picture. So she's a sweet pup. So we're going to be loosey-goosey today, and it's really informal. I wanted to dress up, though, so I did. Ian Rydell is a colleague of mine, and I started to write a poem about today, but I found one of his, which is so beautiful. Come, hoof and trunk and tail and horn, and paw and wing and claw. Come, bird and reptile, mammal born, and full of nature's law. Bring bark and crow and rabbit, too, and silent stares and hiss. Bring purr and trill and warble, too, and voice no ear can miss. We gather here, each life and all, to celebrate and sing, to honor creatures large and small. 'Tis holiness we bring. 'Tis holiness we bring. I am working on the concept, and I've finally decided that I am a public theologian. My ego is very strong right now. But a theologian is someone who looks and works with ideas and meanings and tries to find some contributions to the public conversation about what things mean, what life means. I have a dear friend in my congregation in Huntsville, Alabama, which I'm going to speak in August, which I'm excited about. Haven't been there in a long time, and I'll get to go to their new church. I tried while I was there from 1985 to 2000 to get us to move off the mountain, which was our sort of a sanctuary and hideout, down into the city. And they've done that now, but it was after I left. But my successor there, Jamie, she's the one who facilitated we getting my pulpit here. That's our pulpit now. She had blessings of the animals last year, but blessings of the creatures, and she had a horse show up. Wow. So I wrote on Facebook this morning, if you bring a horse, you have to tie it downstairs. You stay with mules, but if you got a unicorn, bring it on up. So the recognition of what life means is sort of fun. Brad Korb, who's my friend I was speaking of, he said, the sermon I remember you gave was you answered the question, what's the meaning of life? And I said, which I don't really remember now, it's to grow a soul. And I think I want to refine that a little bit. I do believe that we're all born with stardust, from stardust, and there's a spark of eternity in us. And our job is to make it grow and go and grow a soul. And when you grow it enough, you give the light back, and it's absorbed in life. And our animals are certainly part of that. Every tradition, every creation story, every myth has something to do with animals, and they're early in the story. They're early in the story. The Lenape, whose ground we now stand on, once upon a time, They thought that there was a living spirit in all of life. And that living spirit was in a void. No past, no future, but that spirit was there. And the spirit took a nap. And in that nap, the spirit dreamed of how life would be, how creation would be, how animals and people and mountains and everything would be. And when he woke up, he designated 4 helpers: grandfather north, grandfather west, grandfather east, and grandmother south. Now that's an interesting concept there. Do a little theology on that. What does it mean that they thought, maybe that's where summer comes from, maybe it's warm, I don't know, more pleasant than all the other directions. So the animals, and the first one was the turtle, and on top of the turtle was life created. The Druids did something similar. They believed that there was nothing before, nothing after, no life, but there was. This is just stories. You can't put some rational stuff in it. But the sea foam, from the sea foam, so they knew about water around them, from the sea foam came a mare, a horse. And the horse became the creator. And that horse would go back eventually. Fascinating stories. So if you want to spend a good afternoon, find some books on mythology and do some research. It's beautiful stuff. So we're going to honor the spirits that we share, are up close and personal. I've had several cats, I've had several dogs, and I'm going to remember them today as we do that. Okay, we're going to take what we say about our animals. They're helpers. No farmer that I know of that in the old days, and I expect it's true today, doesn't have animals around that aren't utilitarian for the family, except to be companions, and maybe to watch for the cattle. I was driving in North Carolina, and I went by this farm road, and there was this pen of sheep. I'm not whistling with the tooth, I'm surprised. And there was a donkey in there. So I checked with the local, what's this with a donkey in with the sheep? And they said, well, there are wolves and foxes around here. Well, foxes won't bother sheep, but wolves will. And they said, the donkey is watch donkey. And if you know donkeys and mules, they're vicious. They know how to work for that guard position. And cats are called, we'll always have cats in the barn to make sure that you've got the rats and the vermin you don't want in there eating up your seed and other specialties. And of course they're benefactors. When I was in the Peak District last October, huge fields with rock walls with hundreds of sheep. And I asked the locals there, I said, is it wool or meat? You know, they got to have a purpose. And they said, well, sadly, it's not wool much anymore because of all the synthetic cloth. You know, it's sort of like cotton. Cotton is still a pretty good cash crop. Actually, they're doing pretty well now, but not like it once was. And companions, my goodness. And I'm an old surly mean man sometime, and I go, what they doing bringing that dog in here? Back up, Doak. I was taught a long time ago by a good member of my congregation in Huntsville after I'd done some righteous raving about something. He said as he left out the door, you might ought to remember that you shouldn't attack somebody's survival system. Humility there has come into play. You'll never know what makes somebody else tick. And you should never assume from your own poor training or poor morals or values to jump in somebody else's stuff. Because for most of us, it's tough enough with what tools and resources we have. And life's blessings come from being positive and happy. that's when the floodgates open up for joy. I believe that. It's happened with me. I can be morbid, the Lord have mercy, I can be down in the dumps and useless. But I don't know whether it's pharmaceuticals or spiritual strength or just a love that I've just really discovered in my heart. Because life is fun, even with my Joe Biden shuffle. We'll figure that out. Some of my nursing people say you just got to walk more. I go, okay. I think it's inner ear, but we'll see. Helpers, benefactors, companions. Is there another word we can use? Seriously, is there another word we can use for what animals and creatures provide for? Oh, I saw it the other day and I believe it. You know what the most vital creature on this earth is? The bee. The bee makes it all. Yeah. It's the foundation creature. Think about that. Think about all that we have because of pollination. It's all working. Everything's changing. Lord, that's the lesson of life. That's the public theology we need to be talking about. It's not some myths that we've frozen to be absolutes, but the myths and stories that demonstrate to us the vitality of life and the energy it takes and how it works to make life ongoing. The bee, the flower, the tree. In the Druid tradition, the creator god was the oak, the tree. And something about one of the stories, something about the bark. The men and women were created from the bark of the tree of life. Nice stuff. Now, Daddy, be cool over there. Okay, now this is what we're going to do. I'm going to bring the microphone to those people who have pets here, or all of you. We can pass it around. Let's just do that. And you say a few words about your pet, here or not. Now don't get long. And I'm going to ask the people at home to do that too. So y'all be ready to talk to us about the pets. And lastly, we've got a PowerPoint we want to show. And if you've got some stuff on the PowerPoint, you come up and talk about it when it comes up, okay? So we're going to just be a little loosey-goosey this morning, but we'll start. I'm of the opinion, I'm persuaded, that spirit animals are important. And I think they really exist in some realm of our memory bank of being humans. You know the story of Rome, right? The founders of Rome were suckled by a wolf. I've said before that the human being always has to have somebody to tend to them. So we came in this world dependent. And we're given the opportunity to learn interdependence. And a part of our resource, part of our family, part of our links are with the lives we share. I'm sure that those of you who've been around work animals or heard of them or seen them in myth and legend, you know, a person's horse in the old days was remarkable. I remember my granddaddy talking about his favorite horse back when they were, you know, pleasure horses that they rode to town on. But that's a part of who we are. So I got a challenge for you. If you haven't claimed a spirit animal, do so. Think about some of the characteristics, and if you want to get into some Wiccan and pagan stuff, that's fun too. You can do some research there. Someone's been creative and playful with ideas about, you know, what do animals represent to us? So we're going to bless the animals. Now this is what we're going to do. I'm going to say a blessing, and I'm going to stop when the name comes up, and you're going to just say the name to yourself. You don't have to shout it out. And then we will conclude our service. Does that sound okay? Sure. In the name of that which is holy throughout life, we would say thanks for the animal that we have been, the creature we have been gifted with. Say the name. We seek for its health. We hope for its longevity. We will tend to them. We will be kind to them. And we will honor them in our homes and our living because we need them. Thank you. Amen.